All right, let's head to Tanzania as we share the big stories on the front page of the Citizen newspaper this morning. Weight loss surgery in Tanzania, a fresh start. Overweight patients will not have to dig deeper into their pockets to seek obesity treatment abroad, thanks to the Aga Khan Hospital, which has successfully performed bariatric surgery on 4 people. We're starting to see a number of surgeries it's been a thing. There are a number of people. But what annoys me the most is when these people now go and do this bypass. I think it's called gastric bypass or whatever it is. You do the surgeries, then you now come and be farming. Oh, I changed my diet, I eat healthy, and I exercise. If you did your surgery, own your surgery with your full chest. Because the rest of us that are frustrating ourselves in the gym will now start thinking, well, I'm trying. Why is it not working?
Yeah, but the question really for me is, why is there shame with taking the surgical route to weight loss?
Yeah.
Because not everybody would have the patience or the time, or the interest really to go to the gym. And of course, I'm sure we've also gotten to realize that the gym doesn't really work for everybody.
Especially because there's I think is it a Chinese proverb that says you dig your grave with your teeth. It's more about your kitchen, what you're able to put in your body first.
Very true.
Before you talk about the gym.
Very true. But people have those struggles over time, because I've gotten to realize that even to eat healthy, also requires, some level of wealth and comfort. Because for you to be able to pick and choose what you eat in order to lose weight, you need to be able to afford to, pick and choose. There's a level of, poverty that you're going to be at, that you're going to eat what you have. Yeah, exactly. So, but of course, those aren't the same people who can afford surgery. So,
I think why there's some sort of shame still with surgery would be because there has been, it's almost like where we are in the society. In Africa is where we say that if you're doing surgery, it should be for life-threatening issues.
Yeah.
So there's a certain level of vanity that is attached to surgery for weight loss or body enhancement that still now has that is now shrouded in some level of shame.
And I don't think the continent has gotten to accept body enhancement in any way, shape, or form.
Well,
so it could be
they are accepting it better. I was looking through one very popular Instagram page some days ago, and I was surprised about the diabetes medicine that influencers and celebrities abroad are now using to lose weight. I saw that they were actually recommending it in their comments.
No, when I say body enhancement, I'm talking surgery, related. Okay. For those who do the BBLs, as they're popularly called, the continent hasn't been able to fully accept it, as a norm. So when people decide that they want to, do any sort of body enhancement, it could be for weight loss, it could be for an increase in, mammary glands, it could be for an increase, in the size of, any body part. There's still some level of shame that, is attached to it. So, so that's maybe where all of it's coming from.
At the end of the day, if you're going to do any of these enhancements, you should understand what risks you're undertaking. There will be consent forms to sign, and then you must be sure the reasons you're doing it. You're not doing it because of anybody else, knowing that, there have been conversations about, don't do it for the opposite sex. Anyway, that's a conversation for another day. Moving away from that, and to support this weight loss surgery, they're giving statistics that about 35% of people in sub-Saharan Africa have excess body weight, and the WHO estimates an up to 50% prevalence in urban areas. 897,000 reported cases of diabetes in Tanzania, which is 3.6% of the adult population in 2019. Moving away from weight, 6 measures to boost real estate. After years of mixed results, the National Housing Corporation is proposing a raft of measures that, if implemented, will change the face of the real estate sector in the country. Elderly targeted in the new financial inclusion phase. This is very exciting for me. I'm really hoping that is something that's been carried out. Those who think our projects are white elephants are wrong. Our investments are economically viable. Demand for housing is very high. We need to come up with measures that will make them more affordable. This is according to Hamad Abdallah, the NHC Director General. And final stories, 2 more. Tragedy as 4 siblings perish in road accident. We've been seeing a lot of stories like this in more recent times on the continent, and it's always a sad report. Clara describes Tanzania as her best tourist spot. Yet to visit, looking forward to visiting and sharing my own experience. But that's all we can take from the Citizen in Tanzania. Let's head over to Nigeria.
All right, the Guardian newspapers this morning comes up next. It says here, Nigeria's political dynasties wax stronger as poverty deepens. And, I don't think, there is anything closer to the truth than what this headline says. If you look at what has played out in Nigeria in the last, let's say, 2 months, Nigerians have gotten to see that what really is benefiting is politicians and politics. Every other thing seems to be depreciating. The cost of living crisis is going to extreme levels in Nigeria. Nigerians are suffering. There's also still fears that the petrol price will continue to go higher than it currently is. And of course, there's no reasonable or sensible enough a cushion for the Nigerian citizens. So the only people who seem to be enjoying in Nigeria currently are those who are playing politics and of course the politicians. You see the Senate president, making videos on his way to work. He's walking like he's King Herod.
Instagram influencer.
He walks like one of the kings of Egypt back then, in the time of Jesus. He walks with, I cannot explain it. But that's the way he carries himself, and it doesn't show a person who's carrying himself knowing that there's work to be done to fix Nigeria. We've also seen the list of ministers by the Nigerian president, which a lot of people have also described as very, very disappointing. We've also gotten to see and yesterday I got to see the list of new special assistants to the Adamawa State Governor, Umar Fintiri. He put out a list of about 40 something names. And these were all names of special advisors on media. He has 35 people named as special advisors on social media alone. Social media and content creation. 35 people, and then has about 7 here, 10 here, 2 here, on different types of media. And these are just special advisors and aides to a governor. So once again, the only people who are benefiting in today's Nigeria are politicians and politics. Every other thing, is suffering. And it's basically a 1 or 2% of the population that we're talking about. 1% actually of the population we're talking about here.
Yes, I mean, a huge number of Nigerians are being grossly impacted. Typically, you would say, oh, maybe the lower class. Right now, like we always say on the show, there really is no middle class anymore.
Yeah.
Because the poverty has been a leveling factor. Everybody's now on, maybe not everybody, but to a large extent, a number of us are on level playing ground. The level playing ground here being the poverty that Nigerians are facing, because the cost of living has increased, but your salaries and your income is not increasing. So
no, it's not.
We're not able to balance it out. And yes, again, I'm sure that we'll talk more about this when we look into our top stories. Back to the conversation about cutting the cost of governance.
There's absolutely no interest in that.
Is there any possibility that we're going to see that happen, or is it just going to be lip service?
Mostly lip service. All right. But yeah, you can check out the Adamawa State Governor and his Twitter page. He posted it, sometime last night, showing his list of new special advisors on media.
Well, maybe it's voluntary service. Maybe they're not going to be paid by the government.
No, they will be paid. All right. Still on the Guardian newspapers this morning. Contempt charge. NLC threatens strike if someone's not withdrawn. I'm sure nobody's scared of the NLC strike. I said this yesterday, that nobody has any faith in NLC, the Nigerian Labour Congress, or the Trade Union Congress, Joe Ajero or Felix Osifo achieving anything.
That's absolute. Maybe a number of people, a huge number. There might be a few people. If nobody believes, they themselves that are pushing for it believe in the cause that they're pushing for. All so right. A huge number of Nigerians.
Well, a large percentage of Nigerians, and I'm talking 99%. There might be a 1% who has faith in the NLC, but 99% of Nigerians, from my own personal statistics, have zero faith or trust in the NLC or whatever it is doing. The NLC went on strike at 10 a.m. and by 2 p.m. they were done with the strike. That is not an NLC that anyone should be worried about. Why average Nigerians can't afford new vehicles, and of course the coup in Niger, military option unrealistic. These are the stories on the Guardian newspapers this morning.
Right, we'll be talking more about the coup in Niger. It's one of our top stories this morning. I'll be going further to explore these conversations in a moment. This is still Breakfast Central on News Central Television. We'd like you to keep the conversation going on all our social media platforms. We'll be right back after this break.